Hello, my name is Dante Renee from the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, this is 1970s Sexual Encounter Group. And this is directed by Alex Renzy, and this is actually part of the Alex Renzy 3 documentary set from Vinegar Syndrome. This actually came out in 2016. It's number 144 in their set, and it has two other films as well, Alex Renzy's Innocence Abroad and Alex Renzy's Weed. And we'll be looking at those in the future, but for tonight's purposes, we're looking at the Sexual Encounter Group, which is looked at as being one of his earliest features. It's 82 minutes long, and it states right here it unfolds in near real time. So let's look at this film right here, folks. Now, the interesting thing is that Sexual Encounter Group is in many ways like the definition of what a documentary should be. It really does seem to unfold in pretty much real time. I mean, the thing is impressive in the way that it treats natural time. We are at this nice house. Looks like nice weather. Looks like California, LA. Or San Francisco, I'm not really sure, probably San Francisco, and a group of people, a group of couples, and you see them in real time walking up the steps and starting this group, which is led by a teacher of sorts who we are hearing is giving instruction to all of the couples to get out of their comfort zones, to verbalize what they're feeling, and he kind of leads them in a variety of activities throughout this group. And it's so interesting because you in your head you're thinking, okay, is this like a couple's sexual retreat? Did these things actually happen? I think they did, especially in the 70s. There's mostly couples, but we also have a couple girls that don't have a male partner with them. I noticed that one of the girls in this group was in another Alex Renzy film, and she had short red hair, and the film is, I believe, yeah, it's Powder Burns. It's the film Powder Burns, which I'll be looking at in the future on this YouTube page. And the interesting thing is, I believe this came before that, and Sexual Encounter Group, it's the first reel has the real sound, but then the remaining reels of the film, the sound was lost. And so Vinegar Syndrome actually states that at the beginning of the movie, that they incorporated music, or that someone else, not Vinegar Syndrome, but someone else incorporated a new sound mix to the last couple of reels of this film, because the film itself has been saved, but the sound was lost for the last two reels. So you start off this film hearing the instructor and hearing the couples and the people in the room verbalizing their feelings. There's this aspect of kind of shutting off your sight, your physical sight, and really staying in tune with your feelings and kind of your inner sight. And then in the remaining reels, we can't hear the instruction, but we are seeing it, and it becomes this whole other experience where it's pure music with no talking at all, and we're just as the viewers watching this unfold, seeing the experience, and it becomes this amazing, surreal kind of audiovisual experience. And as the activity becomes more and more sexual, in the film, in the group. And we hear the music that is, just all different genres of funky and psychedelic and classic rock and 70s groovy and funky, and there's really elements to the music that are very, very psychedelic, almost Grateful Dead like in a way, with their space jams. And the couples definitely, incorporating the free love aspects. The couples and the teacher himself are mixing and matching and engaging with each other while others watch in the group. Um, and so the film becomes more and more directly sexual, where there have been given rules. There have been given boundaries to take things slowly and to experience what the instructor wants them to experience. And then all of a sudden, there are less and less boundaries. The funny thing is that some of the people, they weren't supposed to be out of their underwear yet, but certain people weren't wearing underwear yet. And so this becomes truly an audiovisual experience in the second and third reel, definitely with the awesome music. Now, something that I thought was interesting with Alex de Renzy's cinematography in this film is that he's there, and it's like we're just watching reality. And then at times too, he is zooming in, whether it be some hardcore action that starts to erupt, or a girl's butt, or her vagina, and people's faces. And another interesting thing is that at times he zooms in so much that you kind of see bodies just moving, body parts moving, but not exactly sure what or where. And so it's really interesting in some of the angles and the perspectives. I gotta say that Sexual Encounter Group is probably the most real-time documentary I've ever seen. It really feels like you are just, and it's so engaging. It's so interesting. The different people, their kind of their perspectives, their looks, their faces, their expressions, their feelings. It's just the 70s, kind of a snapshot of an era, a snapshot of a mentality, a snapshot of free love, of sexuality. And it's really interesting, at least nowadays, because there are kind of sexual therapy groups that are around for mentally or physically handicapped people, or these are legal kind of sexual therapy groups. And of course there's regular sexual therapy with counselors and couples, and so it's interesting. It's not like a sexual therapy group is foreign to the hardcore genre, especially in some Carlos Tobalina films, but it's definitely something that takes on a very real light in this film. And actually, the majority of the runtime is not hardcore. And so it's like you're blue balling, but the majority of the runtime is not hardcore. This is not your typical hardcore film whatsoever, and we do have kind of some lesbian vibes, but mostly, and obviously orgy type vibes in here, but definitely in more in the realm of kind of leading up to what hardcore would, leading up to the actual sex acts. The majority of the runtime is leading up to that. And there's different body types in here. There's different ethnicities, just different vibes with the people, and very, very cool stuff. Different ages as well. This is Alex de Renzy's Sexual Encounter Group. This is really a unique experience, and I can't wait to watch the other ones on here as well, because Alex de Renzy did start as a documentary filmmaker. So Sexual Encounter Group, 1970, and it is only 82 minutes long. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like Alex de Renzy's Sexual Encounter Group. Thank you, Vinegar Syndrome, for releasing this, and thank you for watching. Please feel free to check out my own personally made films at vimeo.com/poopy diarrhea, Poopy diarrhea. Thank you so much, and good night.